Good morning and welcome to the Morning Spotlight Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Cam, coming to you as always from the Spotlight Studios here in Morristown, New Jersey. My guest today is an actor, author, speaker, podcaster, and transformational coach. He's appeared as an actor in Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, As the World Turns, and Soldiers of Fortune. He also won an Emmy for his contributions to the hit series, The Bay. He's completed the Hawaii Ironman twice. He's 2 years sober. He's a cancer survivor. He is Réal Andrews. Réal, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Mike? I'm so grateful to be here, and thanks for that introduction. That was really good, one of the best I've heard in a long time.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. From a podcaster yourself, like I feel that makes me so happy. And I know that you're doing a lot of episodes, so you got a lot of people to compare my intro of you to. So I appreciate that. So all right, so we met on Clubhouse, and I think that that's one of the really cool things about Clubhouse is that you get on there, you're able to network and talk to a lot of different kinds of people. So tell me like what your experience with Clubhouse has been. I see you on there. I saw you on there this morning in the pod tank room with our friends over at RTP. So what's that experience been like for you?
Clubhouse has been phenomenal. I mean, it truly has. But there's also the caveat. I think, you have to be it's very addictive. And, just keeping it real, I was just thinking about this. I'm actually going to talk about it today on my show. I think I do a show every day, a room. It's a show. You call it a show, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, I'm just keeping it real. I know I've been the top enroller consistently in 15 years, in the top 10, if not number one. And I noticed like this is the first month that I'm not, and I'm like,
I wonder why.
I need to get, a better balance, know. And my coach, I have a coach that I just started working with, Dr. Doug Firebauer. He's coached 51 of the top income earners in network marketing. And he said that, for every, how did he say that? He said for every hour I'm going to spend on Clubhouse, I need to spend 3 hours on my business. I spent 47 hours last week on Clubhouse.
I don't know if there's that many hours in that week.
I know, right?
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but I think it's just so cool because I do see you in a lot of those podcasting rooms. I've been in some of your Monday motivation rooms, all that kind of stuff. And I think that just like one of the things that I think is just so cool about you, and one of the reasons why I had to have you on the show was just like this, like the level of passion that you have for just helping people. And that's like one of the things that I think is just so cool about you. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. But what I do want to do is obviously, like the bell ringer for people like that when they know that we hear the name Réal Andrews, it's like General Hospital, acting career. So what got you into acting? Why acting? Because obviously, you're a big, strong guy, Hawaii Ironman twice, fitness guru. So why acting? What brought you into that?
Yeah, it's a great question, Mike, and thanks for the confirmation because I'm just getting ready to blow my TikTok up, and I didn't have that in my TikTok in the description, and it was actually put on my head on God Time this morning that because you only get very, very limited descriptions in TikTok, and it literally this morning says, Réal, you need to put Emmy award-winning actor, ABC, General Hospital, Lieutenant Taggert, because I had different stuff there, so you just gave me that confirmation. I never had any desire to be an actor. I mean, I thought acting was stupid. I mean, I was the jock, I was in the football team, captain of the football team, the captain of the track team, but I did date the drama queen. And so I used to support her, and I used to go to the plays and go to her practices, and I'd be like, oh my God, this is just like, so lame, but I just want to like get some action with this girl. So I'm going to show up and pretend like I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I totally get that.
Yeah. Right. And, but so I really got into it by accident, Mike, to be honest with you. Now that I know there's no accidents, but back then, really the short and skinny of it is, Hollywood was moving to Hollywood West. I grew up in Vancouver, BC. They were building studios up there. They were starting to make a lot of movies up there because they were getting a great benefit in the exchange on the dollar. And they needed a young black boy, and they called it a black boy back then, believe it or not, for this part. And where I grew up, there wasn't a lot of us. They went around to the schools and found three of us, see if we'd audition for this part. And I was like, whatever, they're going to pay. I think they were going to pay me like a lot of money for me back then. I think I was going to get like $3,000 or something for the part. So I was like, oh, whatever. And I just read the part and I got it. And that was the beginning, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then so you moved to Hollywood. Like, what was like the what you would consider your first like big break in like the acting world? Because I know you started as a stuntman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then eventually got into some acting roles. But like, what was like the thing that kind of like you think pushed you into like the next level of your career in that sense?
Oh yeah. I mean, booking General Hospital. General Hospital was my big 26-year overnight success. We kind of joke. Yeah, I was an
Yeah.
overnight success in
Right.
26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like, nobody remembers, or the times when I didn't have 25 cents to buy a stamp to write a letter home. He eating one piece of bread with a peanut butter and banana, like that fell face first on your cockroach ridden floor, but you're gonna eat it anyways because that's
Right.
all you had.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, absolutely, General Hospital for sure. That was
Yeah.
my big break. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I did want to ask about the stuntman thing. So like, why that? I mean, like, because I mean, obviously stuntmen exist, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like, people are stuntmen because not all actors can do their own stunts, and there's obviously a lot of dangerous stuff that people do. So why were you just like, hey, I could take a punch to the face? Like, why don't I just take some punches to the face and be a stuntman? Like,
Well, first and
what?
foremost, they don't really punch you in the face. That's the whole
Right.
point of a stunt man.
Yeah, no,
Make
I
it
get
look
that.
no, but there are listen though, there
Right.
are some crazy people. They think, wow, for it to really look real, we gotta like the original Rocky movie, for example. I understand like these guys were taking like, hello, it's called Stuntman. But I once again, what happened was, so that first movie that I got was a movie called what was that called? Harry Tracy. Yes, Harry Tracy, Last Desperado with Bruce Dern. And so like I said, they needed a little young black African American kid. And so, but I wasn't black enough. So I'm sitting in the makeup chair. They're making me blacker. Okay. And in walks this guy. And I had an afro back then. I had hair. In walks this guy. He's a Caucasian guy, white guy, and he walks over to me. The producer, the whatever's there, and they say, "Can you stand up for a second? Stand back to back." And I said, "Okay." I don't know what's going on. Stand back to back, and he said, "Oh, great, that's perfect. That'll work." And he walks away. He comes back an hour later, Mike. He's black, and he has an afro now.
Right.
So
That would send up red flags all over the
yeah,
place
yeah,
nowadays. Yeah.
yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
this is in
Right.
81, right?
Yeah.
So he's my stunt double. Now, the reason, like you said, it would send up red flags. The reason was my stunt double is because there was no African American stuntman up in Canada. So we became friends. And by the end of the film, he saw that I was an athlete and very athletic. And he said, "Hey, have you ever thought about being a stuntman?" He said, "There's a lot of movies coming up here now. You could work all the time. I could train you. We have a stuntman, we work together and all of that." And I was like, sure, and that's how it happened.
Yeah. No, I just think that's so interesting because like I mean, I guess access to, have you seen the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and like
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pitt's the stuntman? That's like really the only time I've ever, encountered a stuntman, even though that's in a movie. But all right. So I know one of the things that I did want to talk about, and I know that this is going to be shorter than most of our other episodes, but that's cool because I think we're going to be able to pack a ton of stuff into this 30 minutes. But during this time in your acting career, one of the things that I mentioned in the bio that I read was that you're 2 years sober. And over this time, obviously you were going through a lot of stuff. And I've heard you mention it in some of the Clubhouse rooms. So like, take us through like what those experiences were like for you, like what got you involved in like those types of things. And kind of like I guess, to be blunt, like what kind of damage did it do to you? And at what point we'll get into the comeback story after. But let's talk about that just for a second.
You're talking about my addiction and everything.
Yeah. Right.
Well, the damage, dude, almost cost me my marriage, my kids, my life. I'm in the short and skinny of it. It cost me my career. I mean, I was on top of the world, brother, literally, like, like just 6,000 square foot house, no was not part of our vocabulary, all the A parties, doing everything I want. And to where I'm like, renting and, living paycheck to paycheck. And, you know, just, I mean, it cost me everything, dude, like for real.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm grateful, very grateful that I have an amazing wife who stood behind me, because she didn't need to. And, so, yeah, I mean, in the short and skinny of it, dude, it cost me everything for
Yeah.
real.
Right. And was she the one? I mean, like I've had people on the show before that have battled with addiction and stuff like that. So was she the one that was kind of like the hey, dumbass, like get your shit together and like let's go? Or was it somebody else? Was there somebody that just kind of like grabbed you, shook you, or was it something that you kind of just like you snapped out of it one day and was like, I need to turn this ship around like ASAP?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal question, dude. My wife was the first one who definitely started me in the right direction. I mean, she was the first person, the first woman, let's be real, that just didn't take my shit. She didn't, because up until that point, I just was rolling over everybody and using everybody and just debris everywhere, dude. Like roadkill. I didn't care about nobody.
Yeah.
And then I ran into this amazing woman and tried that with her, and she was like, "Nah, see ya, I'm out of here." And so that definitely, switched me around. But it the actual thing really, dude, because here's what people don't understand that I understand now. Like when you go to the program, here's what you understand. You know, you can't help nobody until it's their time. I mean, and it's very challenging. I think of like my aunt, my cousin was very heavily addicted to substance abuse, and my aunt, spent her every last dime. Remortgaged her house several times. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have been, Auntie D, just save your money
Yeah.
because you can't, and it's very hard when you love. And I know that because you know what, one of my kids, I was seeing um behavior from me repeating, and it's very challenging as a father to know that there's nothing you can do
Right.
but to be there and be supportive. So it was just timing, and it was right my time. But I also, I like to say a lot. As you know, I'm very, very uh, hardcore driven mindset, disciplined, that I was able to use that when the time was right. But it's crazy. It's interesting because with that said, man, I tried to use, the mindset of Real that I have that just can get anything done. And it just didn't work. But one day when I was ready, I guess I just said, that's it,
Yeah.
done. I'm out.
And that's it.
And,
And then it was
and,
just the
and
road
I've never,
back.
yeah, I've never gone back. Now, I'm not stupid. I'm in the program. I have sponsors and go to meetings because we say it's one day at a time. What I'm not stupid about is I know that, and we talk about this all the time. If I was to go out, that would probably be my swan song
Yeah.
because there's just too many things involved. One, the personality I have, and then there's the shame of it. Man, you go out, you're going out hard, dude, and I'm just gonna party like a rock star like never before. Me being able to face up, it's not, and I'm not throwing it away, dude. I got too much, so yeah,
Yeah. No, I get that. I totally see where you're coming from, and like I totally understand that. Like if you were to go out, then it's slippery
yeah,
slope for sure, and there's really no coming back after that.
yeah,
But all right. So again, one of the things that I mentioned at the outset was that like one of the things that I think is so cool about you is that you're just passionate, and like there's people that are passionate about helping other people, but just like listening to you talk. I mean, I pretty much hear you talk like once a week. At least on Clubhouse, wherever, and passionate about just like helping people. So at what point does maybe that's part of the process of this recovery thing, but like, at what point are you like, hey, I have a story that can help people, or a mindset or a whatever that can help people come back from some of the stuff that I've been dealing with over the last, however many years. So why are you reaching out to help others instead of just trying to like really focus on yourself? Is that just like a coping thing? Is it a true passion to help other people?
No, 100%. Oh man, you asked phenomenal questions. I'm really enjoying this.
Thanks, man. I got to pack them all in. I got to make sure I
Yeah,
give you the good
yeah,
ones. Yeah.
yeah. You're good, brother. You're good. Don't make yourself too crazy rushing.
I'm good.
So you know what? For me, it's not about me, dude. And I believe it's my calling to help others. I've had several things. It's what I'm here for. It's what I live for. I say I will believe in you till you believe in yourself. I believe that everybody has a gift and a calling, but 99% of people don't think they do. They think if they're not a celebrity or a professional athlete or a CEO of a company, or excuse me, that they say, well, I'm just a gas station guy, or "No, I'm just work at the." No, dude, you're important. So I am all in with that, dude. I live it's about me. My thing is, how many people can I help? How many lives can I change? And it just fires me up, dude. And it's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I know, like my passion is to help people find their calling, because I think there's nothing worse than going through your whole life and not knowing what you're calling. My calling 100% is to help people be everything they were created to be.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think, and obviously, like, if people that are listening don't know Real, one of the things that you call everybody is champions. So why champions? What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Champion, well, champion is a warrior, right? It's the best version of yourself. And I believe everybody's a champion, I mean, plain and simple. It's just everybody's a champion to me, in their own realm. Everybody is their own champion. And that's why I call people champions, because that's what I feel they are.
Yeah. No, I love that. I just think that's so cool. And again, I mean, you're just a cool guy. I mean, that's why I
Well,
wanted to
thank
have
you.
you
I
on the show.
appreciate that.
The
Thank you. I
Thursday,
appreciate that.
the Thursday crew, our Thursday episodes are just chock full of cool people. And obviously you're right there with everybody. So, let's talk about specific type of stuff. Like, so who are there specific types of people that you actually reach out to help? Is it people that have gone through the same thing as you? Is it just your average Joe like me? Is it, is there a specific group of people that you're actively trying to help?
Yes, that's a great question. The quick for easy answer is everybody.
Yep.
Anybody, not everybody. No, let me reframe that. Everybody that God puts in my path, because to me it's all about God. So whoever God puts in my path, I mean, and I mean that literally, right? If somebody crosses my path, they were there for a reason. Maybe even if it was just for that day to say hello and smile. Okay. So but specifically, my avatar, if you will, absolutely women, 35 to 55, and specifically entrepreneurs, network marketers, people in MLM industry. Because why? Well, one, the women, because my mom was a single mom and I saw how hard she worked, and I'm partial to that. It took me a long time to figure that out, because that's not normal. Normally your avatar is the person looking right back at you in the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's just worked that out. And then entrepreneurs specifically, that's a new thing for me, Mike. It's as I'm always fine tuning. And I actually run a room in Clubhouse called Raising Up 9-Figure MLM Champions. And the reason I picked that is because I truly, I didn't pick it. Actually, God threw that on my head just the other day. This is new. I renamed the room, and it's amazing what happened. That's a whole nother podcast with me, just by naming it Raising Up 9-Figure MLM Champions. Crazy. But the reason I picked that number is because, and I'm passionate about network marketers. Number one, I think it's the most amazing platform ever. You know, I'm an Emmy award-winning actor. I have an amazing life, but I truly think that network marketing is the best, hands down platform that anybody can build a legacy, make a difference, leave a legacy, take care of themselves. I mean, look what's happening right now. People getting fired, furloughed all over the place. Nobody's going to fire me, except me. But I also, the world is in such turmoil right now, and it's not getting better. And it's so bad right now that it's like loaded with sheep right now, because people are living in such a place of fear. And I get it. I understand. You know, they're afraid to say the wrong things. They're afraid to do the wrong thing. They don't want to get fired. This. And so people are like just making not good decisions and stuff like that. And so for people to step up, to get up, to step up, to speak up what they truly believe in and what they know is right versus wrong, they have to be people that are in a position that they're not living in a place of fear. They're not living under somebody's thumb. They're not worried about this. And that's entrepreneurs, network marketers. Nobody's going to fire them, and so they can be the leaders, the warriors, the influencers that this world needs. And guess what? It's going to take a lot of money. So I want people to stretch, because it's absolutely doable to make 9-figure income. There's more than one person in the world that's done it. Okay. But it's just to stretch people's belief. My mom always told me, don't dream tonight, son, dream big. So that's who I'm, specifically believing that's who I'm called to raise up and to make a difference.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love it. And like you said, I mean, anybody that God puts in your path, you're trying to help them. And like I said at the outset, it just, whenever I'm in a room with you or I've talked to you before or whatever, that's just one of the things that I definitely noticed. So before, I got a couple more questions. One of the things that I wanted to ask was about the podcast. So tell me about the podcast. What's it about? Why should people listen?
Because it's phenomenal. No.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Next question.
Yeah. No, seriously though, it's a great question. It's Getting Real with Réal, where we get real, raw, authentic, honest, and brutally transparent, so people can be the best version of themselves. And really the original vision was just that, what's going on behind closed doors, because everybody sees Réal, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, what's up, champions? Yeah, but what's going on behind the closed doors? Like, I literally wrote my first book, and it did. It was like, by the time I finished the book, I was like, oh my God, who the hell is that guy? It was like literally Jekyll and Hyde, dude. It was like, what? It's transformed into, specifically, once again, it's primarily, network marketers and MLM champions, women, but all kind. It's not just women anymore, but it's just anybody that it seems to have been working out that way. But really, the crux of my podcast is this. One day my pastor in church said to the congregation, he said, Jesus doesn't need any more preachers. He needs more champions. And he was said the people in the congregation to get up, to step up, to show up, to take action, speak up, and share their story. Because everybody has a story and somebody needs to hear it. That's really the bottom line of my podcast. And it's the stories and the champions that are showing up on that podcast. And when you hear what's behind these champions and what they're doing, I'm just continually floored, and honored to be the one bringing their story to the world.
No, I think that's great. Yeah, and I love podcasts, because this podcast can just go all over the place sometimes. But one of the things that I do like to, find like what really drives people, and I think that that's something that you've been, obviously conveying to the audience over the last, however long we've been talking so far. So going back to the acting thing, one of the things that I wanted to ask was, you've had a lot of different roles. I actually literally just before we were getting on here, I was watching General Hospital. And I was watching some, you put up like I guess like a highlight reel almost of like a bunch of different parts. Like, I like the cowboy one with like the silver tooth or whatever. But what was there a role at any point where you're just like, this is me? Like, I don't even have to act, because this guy is like so me. It's crazy.
It's funny you said the cowboy. The cowboy was one of my all-time favorite, because I'm a little cray-cray. You know, I became an act when I really decided I want to become an actor. It was when I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
I
Yep.
said that, yeah, I'd like to do that kind of stuff because I'm just like, dude, just the more like I just laid down an audition today. That that one was like because my wife reads with me, she helps me, and she was like, this is a little freaky. This is yeah, it was really some crazy. So, and you know, it was challenging because when I first read it, I was like, no, because that's one of the things I love about network marketing. And I was like, no, I ain't doing this.
Yeah.
But then I get into a prayer mode because um you know, so basically it just ended with me. I called my agent and I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go kick ass and do what I do. And if God wants me to have the part, I'll get it. If he doesn't, doesn't. I'm not going to make these decisions. It was just too hard. But so definitely the cowboy. And you know, be honest with you, the character that I play on General Hospital, Lieutenant Taggert,
Yep.
dude. And because what happened, dude, I started that character 27 years ago,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And
what's insane is that like, people
yeah,
get into parts and they just like, they do a movie
yeah,
or they do a show that goes like 9 seasons, but like
yeah,
26 years, 27 years. I mean, that's like ridiculous.
yeah. And you know, so not only have I grown into it and growing with my acting skills and everything, but they like yesterday I had a scene, and you know, and my character is saying stuff like, "Dream big, baby girl. I just want you to know there's nothing you can't do." And you know, dude, that's me,
That's
dude. I
you.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm like
Right. Yeah.
dude, they're writing me now. I
Right.
love this. They're
Yeah.
like, this is how I talk, right? I'm like, yes, dream big, baby girl.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I love that. I love that. All right. So, one of the last questions that I have is I always like to ask people about like goals that they have, and especially people like you that like, you have a lot going on. You're doing a lot of stuff. You got the network marketing stuff. You have the acting career. You have the family. You have all this stuff that you've been going through. What are some goals that you have? Let's just take like the next year. Like, what are some things that you want to accomplish over the next year with some of the stuff that you've been doing?
Next year, I want to create 12 six-figure income earners. I want to create 3 seven-figure income earners. You know, I want to create myself as a 9-figure income earner to lead the way. Um, you know, I've got 3 more books I want to. I do everything in threes. If you haven't noticed,
Right.
everything is threes or divisible by 3. Um, you know, just to continue to blow up my podcast. That's really my main things. You know, I want to, I see the vision of, 12,000, I'm not sure what that's about right now, but it's 12,000 lives for something. I'm not really sure what that is, but that God's put me on that heart. But, everything I do really is about helping others. How many lives can we change today? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's
Mhm.
great. All right. So we're going to move the show into our closing segment, which we call
Okay.
Under the Spotlight. So, Under the Spotlight. So, the Spotlighters, which is what I call the Spotlight audience, have listened to Réal Andrews and Mike Hamm talk for a half an hour. Over the last half hour, we've touched on a lot of different stuff. We've touched on a lot of, your life and your career and all that kind of stuff. What is one thing that you want the Spotlighters to walk away from this episode with?
Absolutely. Take action. The one thing is I'm going to share with you the champions, and that's a great question. And it's really what my podcast is about. And I end every podcast with asking the champions for an action task. So let me share with you why. 98%, I'm going to say 99. Okay. This is factual. Okay. 98% of success is enjoyed by 2% of the population. Fame, riches, great marriage, great relationship with your kids, being in shape, you name it, whatever that is, 98% enjoyed by 2%. And I always start off my coachings when I coach from stage or wherever, I always share that statistic. And so, for example, if I'm sitting in a room with 100 people, so basically what that means is 98% of people fail. So I say, so there's 100 people in this room. 98% of you are going to fail. Who wants to be part of that 2%? And of course, everybody raises their hand. And I said, well, at the end of my my coaching, I'm going to give you the success tip. I'm going to tell you how you can be part of that 2%. And so at the end, I always say, okay, are you guys ready? Are you ready? Here's the deal. Here's the big secret. And they're like, wow, take action. That's it.
Yep.
It's really that simple. It's truly that simple. And you can tell people that, and they still don't do it. So the one thing I'd want to leave people with is just take action. It's like on my podcast, on my lives, all that. I say, this is not a spectator sport. I am so grateful you're here, because people come to me because they're inspired by me. They're motivated by me. But I say, this is an action sport. Take action. Mike shared some great things. You heard some nuggets from me today. Something hit your heart. Take action with it, because if you don't take action within 72 hours, it's gone. So take action.
Love it. Yeah, I think that's awesome. So for the spotlighters and the champions listening to this episode, I'm going to make sure that I put Réal's website, I'll put his podcast links, I'll put his social handles. So make sure you connect with him, because that was one of the things I also thought was so cool about you, was just average Joe Mike Hamm here in Morristown, New Jersey, reached out to Réal Andrews, an Emmy award-winning actor, and boom, now he's on the podcast. Took action on that one for sure. So for everybody listening, Réal, thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us. I almost forgot to thank you. What an asshole.
No, it's good. It's good. And that's a nugget in itself, right?
Yeah.
And I'll share one thing with you quick, Mike, because that's huge what you just said. And first of all, you're not average, buddy. You're a champion. Okay. So but I had Todd Falcone. Do you know who Todd Falcone is?
I don't think so.
So if you're a dude, this guy's a flipping legend. Okay. This guy, he's a 9-figure income earner. Okay. This guy's one of the top coaches. He's coaching 30 stages all over the world. I mean, different languages. I mean, most sought after coach. I mean, a freaking legend. Right. And I, like you, dude, I'll reach out to people. I reached out to him. I saw him on Clubhouse. I clicked on this thing, went over to his Instagram, said, hey, would you be a guest on my podcast? He immediately said yes. I asked him on my podcast. I just had him just the other day. I said, listen, man, you're a flipping legend, dude. I said, I know who you are. You don't know who I am from a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I said, but I asked you to be on my podcast and you said yes. And I'm grateful for that. But I got to ask you, dude. I said, why did you say yes? And you know what he said, Mike? This is huge. This is another $1 million. This is it. Backs up what I just said.
Yeah.
He simply just looked at me and he said, because you asked.
Yeah.
He said, nobody asks. People are afraid to ask.
Right. Yeah, you hear that all the time in some of those Clubhouse rooms. Like, how do I get the big name guests? And I was like, I don't know. Some of these people I just ask, be like, hey, you want to come on my show? And sometimes they don't respond, and sometimes they say yes. And here we go. Here's one yes.
It's even in some of those podcast rooms, like, how do I get a celebrity? Wow, you got to reach out to their agent, and then you got to stalk them, and then no, you don't. Just ask them.
Right? Dude. Yeah, just message them, man. You'll get it.
Because the ones that you got just between you, I'm a celebrity. Okay. I don't like that word, but it is what it is. I'm just here to tell you, the ones that you got to stalk and go through you don't want them on your podcast. they're like, they forget that they think they're better than you and they think they're not human, dude. They shit just like me and you. I love it.
Yeah. No, it's totally true. I mean, I've had guests, that I never thought I would be able to get. I run a good show, I feel like, and the show's had some success. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. You just got to take action, ask, and boom, there you go. So, we're doing a screenshot right here.
Yeah, no, I'm doing a little, I'm promoting you, dude.
No, I know. I love that. Yeah. Morning spotlight, baby.
All right, buddy.
I love it. Réal, thank you so much. This was awesome. Had so much fun. And the champions and the spotlighters that are listening to the show, thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.